everyone, welcome to the BNB Abu Dhabi online workshop. Today we will explore the regional impact track, real estate and RWA, and how blockchain is transforming real estate, real-world assets, and asset to financial opportunities. And we have two amazing projects and speakers joining us today, Paimon and DNB Finance, who will share their insights, experience, and real use case. Then let's welcome our first speaker, Gu Yang, CEO of Paimon. Hi, Gu Yang.
Hello.
Okay, then the stage over to you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for the invitation. So, my name is Gu Yan. I'm the founder and the CEO of Payment Finance. So it's a huge honor to be invited to share a little bit about our experience in RWA and how we have and the genesis we are building Payment Finance and what the problem we're trying to solve and the product we have. So very briefly, so why we built Payment Finance? Because our team has been working on Wall Street for decades. So my background, I was born and raised up in Shanghai, went to Jiao Tong University in Shanghai, studied computer science and economics, then came to New York 15 years ago to study, I went to Columbia to get my master's degree. I studied UBS as a muni bond trader, and then I worked for different family offices. I started in a Belgian family which have 10 billion invested in a long-short equity hedge fund. We invested in the best class hedge fund on Wall Street. I was very fortunate to learn from the top hedge fund manager. And then I worked for another US family office to do a leverage buyout, invest in the top tier private companies. And then in 2018, I launched my own hedge fund. It's called Mass Geo Capital. It's a long-short equity hedge fund. So focus on investing the top tier public and private companies. And then after investing all different kind of assets, I feel that the highest quality assets are always accessible to institutions, high net worth individuals. And for retail everyday investor, we don't have access. So I always think about that. Is there a way in which we can democratize the access to those assets? And I was not able to find a way until 2024, last year. RWA came out. But like, hey, maybe we can leverage DeFi. So, and then in 2024, at that time, we talked briefly with BNB, and then we were very fortunate today to join the BNB Most Valuable Builder program, and my partner and I started to learn about how DeFi works, and my partner who got his PhD from Princeton University, and he was the youngest managing director at AQR cover fixed income. So we're talking about, can we put private credit, which is is one of the assets have the best adjusted risk adjusted return we can find. Can we put them on chain? So we started working on that. So today at the Paimon, we have two product categories. The first category is fixed income. We tokenize the top tier private credit funds. The product we have is something called the Paimon High Yield, HYD. So investing in the top tier private credit fund, like Blackstone Private Credit Fund, KKR Infrastructure Fund, and actively manage our risk. So those private credit funds have a yield of like low single digits. Sorry, low teens. I would say like a 10%, 11%, something like that. But the problem with that asset is it's not that liquid. It's a quarterly liquidity. Then we're thinking about how can we make it more liquid, because retail investors do not want to be locked for 3 months to redeem. Then we saw there's a lot of like liquid asset on chain, which is like Budo, Benji, and all the T-bill and the money market fund asset. Then what we are going to do in 2 weeks later, we're going to launch another new fixed income product. It's called Prime Yield, which combines the high yield we have from those private credit fund and also the widely accessible liquid money market fund like Budo, Benji, and also maybe DMZ's product. So putting them together, we can offer a retail investor on the fixed income side with 7-8% yield and a daily liquidity. So that's the fixed income side. We're trying to provide investor with safe yield, high quality yield, off-chain yield, and a decent high yield. So because in the past, we have seen a lot of DeFi projects have problem with their yield, and a lot of yield is financially engineered on chain. And we believe like retail investor needs an alternative, right? They need an alternative to those financially engineered on-chain yield. So that's and on-chain yield, they are it seems to be risk-free, but when really the tail events on what you would call tail events, which is like the events is less likely to happen, really happens, the downside is huge. So if you look at our own portfolio, it's very diversified. For example, Blackstone invests in hundreds of different company, different bonds. So it's well diversified, and the yield is for off-chain. There's no additional leverage on top of that. So that's a fixed income part, and the other part is pre-IPO. So we spend a lot of time in pre-IPO. We tokenize most ambitious company on these planets like SpaceX, XAI, Cursor, Stripe. And later this year, we're going to tokenize more. We're going to tokenize Kraken, Anthropic, and the Neuralink. So because I have been investing in private company for many years, and there's a market called secondary market. But every investor does not know about secondary market, which is a place, which is like OTC place for big family office, venture capital, private equity to sell their SPV share. So SPV means special purpose vehicle. Venture capital, private equity uses those vehicles to invest in private companies. So those early investors, and these days, when you look at private deals, great companies stay private much longer than before. You have or I wouldn't say multi-trillion, but like 500 billion, or even like OpenAI trying to get 1 trillion. Those companies stay private, are supposed to be a public company in the old days, but they're still staying private. So they are early investor of those companies. They want to get some liquidity, and it's a very doesn't mean they're negative to the future of the company, but they just need to adjust their portfolio because when you think about early stage investment, when you invest a 10 seed round, A round company, I would say 8 of them are going to fail, and 1 of them will maybe become SpaceX or XAI or OpenAI, those great companies, and your portfolio will be heavily tilted towards those big names. So there's a very natural incentive for early investors to trim their position. So on Wall Street, that's called secondary market. People, but they only sell to the party that they trust. It's a very small world. Like in, I would say, Bay Area and New York, people are trading around those SPV, and I have been doing it for a while. So, and there's people thinking about to democratize the access to the private companies. The company called Equity Zen, Hive, Forge Global, there are a lot, and Nasdaq Private Market. But when you look at so on their platform, they try to marry the listing, the bid and ask. So for the seller and the buyer. But if you really look into those platforms, the liquidity is very there's not much liquidity there. So it's a pity if those high quality company and that have such a good asset but not much liquidity. And when you think about liquidity, we have a lot in the Web3 world. So that's the genesis of bringing in pre-IPO on chain. So the way we do it is we tokenize our fund. Our fund is a BVI based fund, approved fund invests into the SPV. Approved fund means it's a regulated financial entity in British Virgin Islands. So it's a very it's something very interesting because it can be big. If you think about we tokenize SpaceX, XAI, it's something like those are big names, and now you know what? I would say doesn't that there are several private company, AI company, good company came to us saying that is a way in which you can tokenize our Series C, Series D, Series E fundraising. So that's what we are very excited about. Tokenizing SpaceX, of course, is very exciting, but it's a big name and it's finite. You don't have it's because you are depending on those venture capitals SPV. The capacity is limited, and you do not talk direct to the company. But those private company, Series C, Series D, that's very interesting because we are going to work directly with company to tokenize their recent round of financing. And those great AI companies, they do not want to raise money from VC or private equity, and they're very interesting to talk to the user and slash investor. So this is going to be one of the new way how to see a company talk to their user. You're not only the user, you're also the investor. And with those interests, we're working very actively with those private companies. So with those interests, it's going to be super meaningful. The meaningful part is the pricing for those private companies is a move off chain to on chain. So the pricing of a private company is lack this price discovery. It's controlled by company and several large private equity or venture capital. And now one day, on-chain retail investor can decide on the pricing of a private company. But we need to be very careful on the flip side. We need to be very careful about how we structure these markets because at this moment, we are curating all the high quality assets. We are using our expertise to look into the financial statements, to look into the fund documents, to make sure those assets we bring on chain, no matter private fund or private company, they are high quality, or at least they are not fraud. But the problem is when we grow bigger and bigger and bigger, that there's other asset issuing their product on our platform. Then we need to set up a set of rules and disclosure to make sure proper disclosure is disclosed to our investor, and the investor is in a level play field in terms of information. So that's on the private company side because it's going to be a kind of new paradigm when companies start to raise their Series C, Series D on chain through a SPV structure, and it does not impact the future ability for them to go IPO or raising from other private equity. So we are super excited about that. So that's on the private equity side. So we spend a lot of time talking with family offices, the supply of the deal, and we always want to get the best deal for our investors. Sometimes like like if you compare the price of our offering on our platform, say SpaceX, when we launch SpaceX, we get like $220 per share. And for our if you look at the Web2 platform equities, then high Forge, it's like 280 or even 300. So we want to work very hard to get a good deal for our investor. So in the and that's on the product side. So we are working very hard on the fixed income, which is give investor access to private credit funds, the top tier private credit funds, and providing them good liquidity. And also on the private equity side, those most ambitious company, we not only tokenize big names, SpaceX, XAI, we work directly with the business to help them to raise their Series C, Series D. And on the other side, we believe tokenization, if you only that's on the like sourcing the asset side. Well, we believe if you only do tokenization, it's just walk halfway down. Because like with a lot of respect, like Securitize starting 2017, and if you look at a lot of like tokenized funds, there's not much. It's owned by hundreds of wallets. It's not by a lot of retail investors, right? So it's not say like I would say it's not that crypto native playbook. So then the next set of question is the first question is how can we access high quality assets? What kind of assets we want to bring to investor? Then the second question we try to ask is how can we build a crypto native playbook to make sure those assets are traded or structured in the way investor like. So on the private on the fixed income side, so in the beginning we thought like those Blackstone, KKR, those are great funds, investor would like it. We just tokenize them, and then we realize there's quarterly liquidity people do not like. So that's why we structured it. We added the liquidity layer on top of that, make it more liquid. And on the equity side, we're going to launch something new, which is more like an ETF. So, for example, next year we're going to launch Musk Enterprise Token. We have the building block for that. Tesla is everywhere. SpaceX is we already tokenized them. XAI we already tokenized them. Neuralink is in our pipeline. So the Musk Enterprise Token will be a combination of SpaceX, XAI, Tesla, and the Neuralink. And we'll decide on the composition of those four names. And we're going to have an AI thematic token. If you think about AI, when you try to invest in public markets, the only I wouldn't say the only company. The most of your exposure will be infrastructure like Nvidia, AMD, Google, those infrastructure companies. There's very little chance for you to invest in real application, vertical applications. So because all of those companies are private, so if we tokenize those private, best in breed AI application company, we're going to launch the AI semantic token, which have the components. Investor can get access to a company like Cursor. Investor can get access to companies like Harvey. So those the top tier. Harvey is an AI company for legal. The top tier vertical AI companies. Now we're going to have a robotic a token, which invests in the top robot companies or humanoid companies, say like Figure AI, etc. So that's going to be one thing we're going to have a more. We want to make trading interesting. We want to make a trading of those private company fun. And trading private company can be not that interesting because SpaceX is going to go IPO, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years later, right? So on-chain investor, they like short feedback. They want to invest in something like event market or say pub. They want to know whether they are winning or losing in like in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. So we try to make the trading more fun. So that's our crypto native playbook on the fixed income side and on the equity side. So the third question we want to talk about is about infrastructure, right? So since we're doing that, which chain we're building on? So why we choose BNB chain? The reason is like we are very close to the Binance ecosystem. We're big fan of the Binance ecosystem. We are the most valuable builder back in 2024. We are Easy Lab portfolio company and Easy Residence season 1 in 2025. The reason we choose BNB A is for distributions because our everything come down to our mission, which is bring the top tier US assets for global investors. And we believe the BNB, Binance, the whole Binance ecosystem have a very strong distribution in the area, in Asia, and outside of US. And also we see when we work with BNB people, we know we can feel the high quality and how focused they are in helping builders and bring the top products for on-chain investors. So we believe, and we receive a lot of support, not only from the technology, business development, marketing. So it's a great family. It's a bunch of fun people to work with. So yeah, we're a big fan of BNB and we're building on BNB. It's a huge pleasure to build on BNB. Okay, I'll stop here.
Thank you, Guyen, for your sharing and also your experience and insights. And any final suggestion for the developers who are building in this field?
Yeah, I would say this is what I was talking about BNB. So first thing, don't be shy. Just if you need something, ask. I would say the resource is there. It's just people like do not know. So just ask BNB folks if you need anything, if you need any help. They are more than help to help our builders. And the second thing I would say, talk to your end user, talk to trading communities. So I would say that these two are my advice to them.
Thank you, Guyen, for joining us today. And everyone do follow Paimon on X for their latest updates. Thank you, Guyen.
Thank you.
Okay, then next let's welcome Kai, co-founder and CEO of DND Finance. Hi, Kai.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Kai from DMZ Finance. DMZ Finance, we are positioned as a powerful RWA infra company. We have presence in Singapore, Dubai, and Qatar, which along the presentation, you can see that where we are in each of these places. Our team consists of very seasoned executives from finance, fintech, as well as cryptos. So, for example, for myself, I'm 25 years in the traditional financial sectors. I'm formerly CEO of a major brokerage and asset management, as well as CIO. And our CCO, Ms. Yong, has got 30 years of experience. Formerly was head of legal and compliance of major banks in Singapore. Then, of course, we have the CTO and our chairman, which are very, very tech-based. And of course, our VP very, very experienced in both the marketing on the on-chain side. Yeah. For our Middle East venture, our Middle East presence, especially in Qatar, we are very honored to be selected by Qatar Financial Center Digital Asset Lab. This Digital Asset Lab is actually their central bank's sandbox equivalent. So along with some prominent players, we are actually selected. And as part of the Digital Asset Lab, we has also been able to apply for the TSP license in QFC. So this TSP license, Tokenization Service Provider license, is the first of its kind especially in the region, which allows us to function in a wide range of tokenization activities. As we can see here, validation, token generation, custody, even transfer and exchange can all be done eventually under this TSP license. Our journey with QNB, a bit of background with QNB. QNB stands for Qatar National Bank. So Qatar National Bank, they are actually the largest bank in the Middle East region. And of course, they are owned by the state of Qatar. So very, very high credit ratings and standing and ratings in the region, well recognized by everyone, including clients as well. So we actually started with them as early as 2024, early last year, where we actually went to the QFCRA, the regulatory authority. And as we mentioned, in July, we were selected to be in the digital asset lab itself. Early this year in token 2029 in Dubai, we will actually successfully launch the Gulf Summit. Yep. And just 2 weeks ago, we hosted the top official from DFC in Singapore. A bit of sharing on the Middle East capability and the region with regards to tokenization, etc. In fact, today we are seeing that the United Arab Emirates, UAE, is the most advanced among the region, within the region, especially if you look at the free zones of DIFC in Dubai, as well as ADGM in Abu Dhabi. They are very proactive in terms of the tokenized regime or framework, as well as their acceptance of stable coins. So these are things that actually helps a lot in terms of the area we participate in real world asset or RWA tokenization. Then of course, we have heard a lot about Vera. A lot of the exchanges are also licensed in Vera at the moment. So that provides a very, very good ecosystem for everyone in this space to operate. If you look at the rest of the region outside of UAE, we talk about Qatar and Bahrain. They play a more specialized role rather than UAE, which is a more wider acceptance. Then, of course, you have countries which are or region which are just starting, such as Saudi and Oman. If we look at the space that we operate in, RWA on-chain, if we narrow down on the tokenized treasuries of the money market fund space. Same time last year, the whole tokenized money market fund space on-chain is only 2.5 billion. Today is 8.5 or 8.6 billion. Yeah. So in 1 year, there's a growth of 240%. In fact, if you look at the data, it took 15 months for the first billion to be reached. But in the last 13 months alone, there's an incremental of 6 billion. So the pace of this tokenized RWA as well as tokenized money market fund is really, really catching on very, very fast. Very, very fast. So here we are, together with QNB, which I share, is Qatar National Bank and Standard Chartered Bank. DMZ has launched Dubai's first tokenized fund, which we call QCDT, in September. And of course, the D stands for DMZ. Yeah, so we are part of the fund. And for the QCD fund, we have built a QCD open-ended PCD structure. So this is an open-end fund, and it allows us to launch future RWA funds, Fund 2, Fund 3, Fund 4, in addition to the money market fund. So as we can see, for the money market fund, we have actually assembled a very, very strong branding. For example, the investment manager is Qatar National Bank. The custody bank is Standard Chartered Bank. And of course, auditor is KPMG, and the fund administrator is Ascent. All of them are licensed for their own areas, scope of work. Just as Guya mentioned about Benji and Builder, which is the other two major money market fund in the market. So collectively, we're calling the three major funds in BBQ, right? The 2B, Benji and Builder, and of course the Q belongs to QCDT. Yeah. So nothing too different from between the two products. Obviously, the two of them are launched by two major US asset manager, whereas ours is investment manager is Qatar National Bank, which is the largest bank in the Middle East. Another differentiation is the incorporation. They are using a Cayman and BVI structure, whereas as we mentioned, we are DIFC or Dubai's first tokenized fund. Yeah. In terms of custody bank, obviously they use a US bank, JP Morgan and BNY Mellon, while we use a major bank in this part of the world, Standard Chartered Bank. We talk about the auditor. For tech partners, Barrock's Builder utilize Securitize, and of course Franklin use their own Franklins, and of course as we mentioned, we are part of the branding, so QCDT utilize DMZ Finance as their tech partners. So we just recently launched, as we mentioned, the QCDT in September, and we're very pleased that almost immediately right after we launched, Bybit, which is one of the major exchanges, has also announced that QCDT is being accepted as their first recognized T-bill token to be for clients, institutional clients, to be used as collateral as part of the CX exchange mirror collateral solution. So we are very pleased with that. And of course, turning back to BNB Chain, of course, DMZ very honored to be selected as part of the most valuable builder 10 cohort. Of course, the picture in the middle is when we attended the event in New York. So very happy to be part of the whole BNB chain ecosystem. And obviously, we are working with all exchanges to increase the QCDT's utility within each of the chain as well as each of the exchanges. Yeah. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kai, for the great insight and sharing. And you still have anything you want to share?
Yes, that's the end for my side. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then any final suggestion for the developer who are building in this field?
I think from our experience is that if you want to build something that is of a good quality and very high capability, it's important to build from. Do not take shortcut. What we've seen is that we have seen the possibility of others taking shortcuts to go to market real fast, but with much lower quality products. Whereas actually for our end, especially if you are working with RWA as well as the financial institutions and the large players, it's important to stick to what you believe and build something that is of high quality. Which is also why we actually took a much longer time than probably if we have taken a shortcut and then come up with less quality products.
Thank you. Yeah, and also we see that DNB Finance also select into like maybe 10. So because for our on-site RWA hackathon, we also will have a demo session. And any suggestion for the developer to prepare about the demo?
Well, the demo was experience of one of its kind. It's really exciting. I think it's for us it's very tough to squeeze into the allocated time. So you do need a lot of practice to make sure that you deliver during that few minutes on stage.
Amazing. Okay, thank you. I think that's all for today's session. And thank you, Kai, again for joining us and share your experience today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to our speakers and everyone who joined us today. Do register for BNB Hack Abu Dhabi now and join us on site. And see you on December 5th and 6th.